guys, welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. Tonight we'll be doing a twist and flow style class. This is volume 2, so this is just kind of more poses like that other class that I did before in the first one. And yeah, just kind of working on poses that will build heat and strength throughout the body, and also getting into some twisting, some balancing poses, and maybe a little bit more advanced poses. I'll throw some up there and see if you want to try. No equipment needed. You can use blocks if you're used to blocks, and bolsters if you're used to bolsters, and straps, but other than that you don't need anything else. Your mat and your water bottle. Let's get started on the mat in Sukhasana, cross-legged position. Get comfortable. If you want to bolster yourself up here, if your hips feel extra tight right now, then prop yourself up, but otherwise we'll just start moving around here to help loosen up the hips. So we're going to come forward on an inhale and then come back on an exhale. So we're circling around, inhale forward, and then exhale, rocking back right onto the tailbone or sit bones, the back of the sit bones there. So you can get your shoulders involved with this as well. And hands are on the knees, and you're just kind of pressing the hands down to the knees to help anchor those legs down. And just pick that one direction to move to here, breathing. Okay, and then switch the direction. Same breath pattern, inhale forward, and then exhale, rocking back. And then one more, come forward, and then back. Lift the arms up, inhale, twist to your right, left hand on the right knee, and the right hand comes back behind you. So lift up tall as you twist. So think of the rib cage rolling open to the right here, and the right shoulder pulling back. You can go ahead and look over the right shoulder as well. And let that go. Sweep arms overhead, inhale, and then exhale to the other side. And again, just trying to keep that tall posture here, rolling the shoulders open, lungs open, and then release. Okay, reaching up with both arms. Bring your hands onto your shoulders, elbows out wide, and just begin twisting left and right. Don't worry about if you can't get a huge range of motion here. This is meant to build heat throughout the body here. And if you feel like you're using a lot of ab muscles, if it feels like you're rounding your back or leaning back too much because your hips feel really tight, then prop yourself up and keep moving in the same motion. Try to keep the elbows wide. With breath, you're inhaling, exhaling, so it's kind of at a moderate pace. Okay, we'll keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, release the arms, reach up. Take your hands back behind you. Fingers either pointing towards your mat, towards your bum, or out to the sides. Lean back into your hands, though, arch your back. Roll the shoulders back and pull the shoulder blades together behind you. And then come forward. Switch the cross in your legs. Reach up with both arms, inhale, and then exhale, reach forward and down, forward fold. Bow the head and just breathe into the back here. Walk over to the left side, reaching at an angle. Maybe the head bows to the left knee. And over to the right side. Come on back to center, rise up, and then once again reach up with the arms and then bring the hands onto the shoulders, elbows out wide. Begin twisting side to side. Again, at a moderate pace, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. See if you can breathe in and out through the nose. Try to keep the tall posture. Pose is meant to just get a lot of oxygen into the body quickly and energize the body. Going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach up, inhale, exhale, hands come back behind you and arch back. Deep breath in, expand the lungs, expand the belly, deep breath out. And one more. All right, and then releasing. Okay, come on forward from here to tabletop pose. Bring the knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. Round the spine, come into a cat arch. And then inhale, release the belly. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale and inhale. So extending and flexing the spine. Move around circle motion. Pick a direction to move to. Bend into your elbows. Switch the direction after a few. And just keep switching however you feel here. Just kind of moving intuitively, getting the sides of the hips kind of warmed up, loosened up, and then back to center. Okay, walking bird dog is next. So we're going to take the left leg out and the right arm out first. And then bring it down, and then switching sides. Right leg and left arm, and then bring it down. So just go nice and slowly, walking it out, planting down, stretching forward, and then bringing it down. Feel free to go slower than I am going, especially if you feel a little off balance doing this. Try to go through your full range of motion though. So lifting the leg and lifting the arm as high as you can before bringing it back down. Testing the balance a little bit. Inhale, reach out, exhale, down. Keep walking here. Let's do one more on each side. And then down. Okay, so next here is lifting the right leg back behind you. Take the right leg off to the right, and then right away lift that right arm up to the sky. So we're opening up that side body. Close it in, walk over to that right foot, bow to the leg, bow to the knee, reach to the foot. And then come back to center. Okay, and then coming into more of a gate pose frog style position here. So you're bringing your left knee out to the left, and then turning the foot on the left foot. The left foot is turning out instead of the toes tucked under from here. So I'm on the inner edge of my left knee. Now, if you feel any pain in your knee, if you have a knee injury, then you'll just have your toes tucked under in a regular kind of gait pose style. This is just going a little bit deeper into the pose here. So we're going to start walking forward into the pose, pulling the hips back. Now the outer edge of my right foot is stuck to the floor, so don't lift it off the floor. Just try to push down through that outer edge of the foot as best as you can. Pulling the hips back, breathing deep. And then slowly start to come back up. So walking the hands underneath your shoulders, and then gently bring that foot back underneath you, and then bring that right knee back into tabletop pose. And then we'll switch and do the other side. So take the left leg back behind you, swing it out to the left, and then just start by opening up the chest, opening up the hip by lifting that left arm. You're leaning to the right side. Should feel that right in the left hip flexor there and the left shoulder. Breathe into that. And then we'll bring it down and then walk over to the left leg. Now bowing to the knee. Try to keep that outer edge of the foot onto the floor as you're bowing down. I'm pressing with my hands to push it down, push the outer edge down, and that just helps enhance that stretch on the outer ankle, top of the foot. Okay, releasing from there. Walk back to that tabletop floor or to your hands underneath your shoulders, and then we're going to bring that right knee out to the right, and then point the toes out to the right. And again, you'll be kind of on the inner edge of your knee here. So the inside part of the knee will be contacting the floor. And again, if you have knee injuries, this doesn't feel good, then your toes will stay tucked under in a regular gait style position. And then we'll take puppy pose with the arms here. So we're gonna walk forward to enhance this stretch even more. So what we're doing is kind of doing sort of a half split. You're kind of in a half frog position. So reaching forward with the arms, but enhancing the stretch by pulling the hips back towards the heels is what's going to make this pose feel much more intense. Pressing through the outer edge of my left foot down to the floor, and this stretch will be on the inner line of the leg on that left side. Take another deep breath in and out. And then we'll start to rise up. So bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, and then gently bring your knee in, both knees in underneath you for tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, we'll go right up into down dog. So tuck the toes under, lift the hips, walk it out. Bending into the right knee, left knee, and we'll come forward into plank pose. We'll lower through chaturanga, we'll lift up into up dog, and then come back into down dog, and then we'll just keep cycling through. So we're gonna come down through chaturanga again, inhale to up dog, exhale to down dog. We're gonna do that 3 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to up dog, exhale to down dog, inhale forward plank, exhale lower, breathe in, exhale back, Come forward, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. So back at the back of the mat there in down dog, walking it out again. Look forward at your hands, step up to them. Halfway lift, inhale, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Reaching up to the ceiling. Take your left arm down to your left and lean to the left. Right arm overhead. Looking up at your right arm, try not to bring an arm in front of your face like this. You want to just keep it alongside your ear and reach over. Engaging the legs here, so lifting up through the kneecaps, engaging the quadricep muscles, and then switch. So the left arm is coming overhead, the right arm is alongside the body. Breathing into that left side. All right, and then reaching up with both arms, inhale, and then exhale, sweep down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, drop your right knee down to the ground, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Come back to three-legged plank pose, holding for 3, 2, 1, and then come down through chaturanga, lift into up dog or cobra, come back into down dog. Step forward with the right foot, left knee down to the floor. Reaching up, and hands down to the floor. Step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway, fold, exhale, inhale, rise up all the way. Bring your hands to your heart, clasp your fingers, press down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, release the hands back behind you, clasping behind you. Pull back, look up. Exhale, bow forward, bend knees. Bring your chest to your lap. Pull the hips way back. Lift your toes off the ground now. Float your toes. My knees aren't touching here. They're just, feet are about hip distance apart. And then I'm going to lift my chest up a little bit here. Drop your hands down and then reach your arms. And then point the palms facing down and then push the air down. And then palms facing up. And then down, okay? Inhale, exhale. So on a moderate pace like we did in that seated pose, inhale, exhale. Push the air up, press it down. Lift the air up, push it down. Inhale, exhale, keep moving. One more, and then inhale, lift. And then exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, step your left foot back, left knee down to the floor. One breath here, crescent lunge, hands down to the floor, step back into three-legged plank pose, float the left leg. 3, 2, 1, go down through chaturanga, lift into up dog or cobra, come back into down dog. Left foot steps forward and arms reach up and hands down to the floor. Step forward to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Hands to your heart, clasp your fingers, press down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come back behind you. Clasp your fingers, pull back. Bow forward with straight legs. Drop your head, try to lift your arms as high as they'll go. And then coming up all the way, reaching up, inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. Step your right foot back. Now imagine you're on a tightrope. So we're going to play with some balance here. So right foot just behind the left ankle here as best as you can. So if it feels way too wobbly, wiggly, then you can step your right foot out to the right, but holding as best you can. Now I want you to think about your inner thighs pulling in towards each other. So squeeze your inner thighs and squeeze your glutes, okay? Doing this again, inhale, lifting up. Hands to your heart, clasp your fingers, press down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, take the hands back behind you, clasping behind you. Pull back, look up. And then bowing forward over that front leg. So it's tough. You can feel your stabilizer muscles really kick in. Trying to stay balanced on that tightrope. And then rising back up. And then reaching up, inhale. And then exhale, hands to the heart, and then step forward with the right foot, and then step back with the left foot. I'm just stepping back about maybe a foot or a foot and a half back behind me. So I'm just a short stance, not a huge stance, but I am trying to bring my left foot right behind my right heel. So right foot forward and left foot back. And let's see how this goes. So you just want to think about pulling in your inner thighs, engaging your glutes, kind of squeezing everything into the center, engaging your core so that you can stabilize yourself. Reaching up, inhale, exhale, clasp your fingers, press down, inhale, lift the arms, exhale, take the hands back behind you. Clasp and pull back, and then exhale, bow forward. So just go nice and slow here. And again, you should feel like your legs are working, your stabilizer muscles, your ankles, your feet are trying to keep you in line. Keep squeezing your thighs as best you can. And then rising back up. Reaching up with arms and then stepping forward to the top. Sweep arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. And then halfway lift. Inhale, exhale, jump or step back. Find plank pose. Holding plank pose. Let's go down to dolphin plank pose. Bring one forearm down at a time. Try not to lift your bum. Try to stay nice and low in this position. Keep holding. Okay, we're going to go to side plank pose. On the right side, we're going to pull that right forearm in and then spin on the heel so that left arm can reach up. If you want to, you can stagger your feet, you can stack your feet, you can lift that top leg. If you want to create a little more heat in the body, holding for 3, for 2, and for 1, and then bring it down, switching sides. So bring the forearm down, and then just spin to the other side. So again, you can stagger your feet for more balance. If you want more of a challenge, lift that top leg. Holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back into dolphin plank pose and then press up to plank pose, then lower through chaturanga, then come up into up dog or cobra, and then come back to downward facing dog. Breathe it out, walk it out. Lift your right leg high to the sky. You can bend into your right knee. And open up that hip. Let's step the right foot forward into runner's lunge and then come up into high lunge. So both toes are pointing forward. My feet are hip distance apart, so I'm not pointing on that tightrope anymore. We're going to open up, we're going to twist to the right side. So that left arm is going to go forward and that right arm is going to reach back. Keep holding. One more breath here. Okay, we're going to take it down so that left hand is going to go onto the floor. And then we're just going to take the weight into that hand a little bit. So you're leaning back to the left, opening the right side, opening that chest, opening the arm, bicep. A little bit deeper into that hip as well. Bring that left hand on the floor and then pick it up and point the toes to the left side of your mat. Okay, and then we'll come to the center here. So you're wide-legged standing forward fold. Bring your hands into the center, use a block for this. Try to have a flat back. So think of halfway lifting your chest forward, flattening your low back, and then twist, taking your right arm up. Right hand can also go onto your low back or onto your hip. Lift your head forward as best as you can. Legs engaged, and then bring it down, and then switch sides. Left arm reaching up. And then bring it down. Bend into the left knee. Lift your right toes off the floor, and then come over to the other side. And lift your left toes pointing up, bending into your right knee, going back over, and just gently kind of using, if you're here, that's fine too. You don't have to sit right back onto your heel in that half squat. Go back over to the right, bend into the right knee, the left toes pointing up. Come back to center, bow, then walk over to your right foot, back into that lunge step back to plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Up dog cobra, come back down to the floor, then press up right to plank, and then back up into downward facing dog. Left side, left leg lifts. You bend into the knee. Breathe, step forward. Right, you're in that lunge, the heel, back heel lifted off the ground into the high lunge position, reaching up with the arms. So now we're going to twist to the left side from here. So reaching out through the arms, reaching that right arm forward, left arm back. Try to have your hands at the same height as the shoulders as best as you can. Reaching, trying to find where you can move into, find some space you can move into on your inhales, finding some length in your spine, and on your exhales, maybe positioning your chest so that it's more facing to the side of your mat while your hips are kind of locked in that forward position. One more breath here. And then bring it down. So look down, plant your right hand down to the floor, and then you can kind of lean back into it. So you can bend into your front knee a little bit more and sink and get into those hips a lot more. Pulling that left arm back. My back leg, my right leg still engaged, so pushing out through that right heel. Alright, so left hand is going to go on the inside part of the left foot. We're going to pick it up and toes are going to point to the left side of the mat for wide-legged standing forward fold. Just face this side. Again, forward fold to the center, bowing. Let's do halfway lift again. So lifting up, hands on blocks or on floor or up onto fingertips is what I like to do just to get more lift in the spine. Taking the right arm up to the sky. Releasing down, switching sides. Left arm is going to go up. All right, and then bring it down. Okay, bending into the left knee, going to that half squat again. Right toes lift off the ground. Maybe this time opening up that right arm to the sky here. So sitting in that half squat. Pointing up. Let's go over to the other side. Bending into the knee, leaning into the inner leg there and opening up the chest a little bit more. And then going back over to the other side. time, if you want to, do a little half bind behind you. Bring the back of the hand to the back. Back of the hand is on the low back, facing it. Toes pointing up, hips sinking down, releasing up, and then over to the other side. Lifting up, if you want, do that half bind. Rotate that hand around, back of the hand is on the back. Opening up those shoulders here while we're opening up the hips. All right, reaching up, both arms in, or one arm, and then bring it down to the center. Fold. Breathe into your back. All right, come over to the top part of your mat, facing the left foot, lunge. Step back into plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Lift into up dog. Bring your belly to floor, tuck toes under, and then push up into plank pose, and then come back to downward facing dog. Walk it out. All right, so looking forward, stepping or hopping up to the hands. So we'll get into some more twists here involving chair pose. Toes touching, big toes touching and knees are together. We're going to reach the arms forward for chair. Hands to your heart. Inhale, then exhale. Bring the left elbow onto the right knee. Try to pull the right shoulder back as best as you can here. Try to keep the shins together, so just look down. Try to keep them together as best as you can. Okay, from here, trying a balance pose, we're going to shift the weight to your right foot, and then lift that left foot off the ground, and then bring it back into the air, and then step it down so that you're in prayer twist lunge position. Keep breathing here, keeping that twist. Okay, from here we'll unwind. Bring the hands down to the floor. Take your right leg back and up into the air, and then we're gonna open it. So we're gonna go to wild thing. The right leg's gonna go over top of the left leg. You can go wild thing with that right knee bent and the left leg straight, or you can flip so you're in that rock star position, or the one arm upward facing bow position, and more facing the ceiling. Squeezing your glutes to press your hips into extension. Enjoy. And then coming back over, flipping to down dog, and then to plank and lowering through chaturanga. Up dog, down dog, breathing it out. Looking forward, stepping or hopping up to the hands, and big toes touching. Arms reaching forward, hands to your heart. Inhale, then exhale. We're going to twist to the left. Right elbow on left knee. Try to work on getting the center of your chest to your thumbs. Pulling the left shoulder back. Pulling it to the right, I should say. Keep breathing through it. Okay, shifting that weight to balance here. Shifting the weight to your left foot, taking the right foot off the floor, then kicking back, holding, and then bringing it down for the lunge. Finding that prayer twist lunge. One more breath, and then we can release. So bringing the hands onto the floor, get ready for wild thing. The left leg can go up into the air, and then we're crossing over, going over, and then moving into your rock star or wild thing position. All right, and then coming back around, go to right, so plank pose and lower through chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, take a rest. Go to child's pose and pull the hips back and down. Breathe through it. All right, so take your time, coming back up to tabletop. Let's go up to downward facing dog again. Okay, so stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Hands to your heart. So next we'll try some side crow and fallen angel action. So a variation on side crow. And I'm just going to face you while I explain here. So we're going to start in that Utkatasana position. The toes are going to be together. Don't worry if you don't get it right away. It's a tough position, more of an advanced pose, but I'll put it out there anyway. So we're going to reach forward in that Utkatasana position, hands to the heart. Get down nice and low. Okay, now we're going to go over to the right side first. So we're going to bring that left elbow into the outside of the right knee, and then the hands will be down to the floor. Now get down even lower. So you can even start down in this squat position if you would prefer, less energy intensive on those quads. So you can start down here. So what you want to do is mostly bring that left elbow on the outside part of the right knee, and then your right elbow is going to be on your right hip. Okay, those are the two balance points. When you turn over to the side, your shoulders will still be shoulder distance apart, your hands will be shoulder distance apart. So that's going to be your platform. So when you're ready, you're leaning into it, lining up those marks as best as you can, and then you're floating. And then releasing down. Okay, we'll switch sides. I'm going to go through two different variations of side crow because there's different ways of doing it. But I'll do this one for tonight, or for right now, and then we'll get into the other one. So onto the other side, we're just going to start in that squat position with your right elbow on the outside part of the left knee and your left elbow on the outside part of the left hip. Okay, so when you're ready, leaning into it and shift your weight forward. That's key too. So head pulling forward and bringing it down. Okay, so while we're here, we can transition to fallen angel. So again, a little bit more advanced, but I'll put it out there. So say you're in the side crow, you're on the right side, you're lining up your elbow to your hip and your elbow to your knee. And then you're going to point your right toes up and your left toes up, and then your temple is going to go on the floor. And then just keep your toes pointing up, and then you're kind of trying to make a thunderbolt kind of position as best as you can. And then you bring it back in, and then try to push back to side crow, and then back into that squat position. Other side. Make sure those toes start to kind of turn and point up towards the ceiling. Get your head on the ground because that is another balance spot. Okay, so you're basically making a tripod. Going over to that side, so your head can go down, point the toes up. That top leg lifts and shoots up into the air. Left toes point up, bring it back in, and then push yourself back up into it. All right, so that was side crow to fallen angel position. So we'll go through a little bit of a flow, and then I'll show you guys side crow, another variation of side crow. So let's start at the top of the mat, sweeping the arms up above head. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down to the ground. Arms lift up for crescent lunge. Hands down to the floor. Step back into plank pose, lower third chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Right foot steps. Left knee down to the floor. Arms reach up. Hands down to the floor. Step forward to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Reach up. Exhale, bring it all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step left foot back. Left knee down to the floor. Arms reach up. Twist to your right side. And then bring your right hand on the back of the left leg. So just somewhere you can slide it down. And you can look over your right shoulder here, or you can look up at the ceiling. So more of a front body opener. And you can bend deeper into this right knee. So coming down a little bit more, and then getting a little bit more extension out of that pose. Should definitely feel that in your left hip though. All right, and then we're gonna windmill the hands out of that pose, bringing it back, and we're gonna take a twist so that right leg is gonna go up, kick it underneath the left leg for side plank, hovering that bottom leg, come back around to plank pose, lower through chaturanga, bring it into up dog, down dog, right away, other side, left foot's gonna step forward, right knee to the floor, arms reach up, twist to the left, left arm is going to reach to that right leg, so hand on the leg, and then you can look over that right shoulder or left shoulder, and you can look up at the ceiling as well. So really stretching that right side of the body, and you can bend deeper into that front knee once you feel comfortable. All right, so coming out of that, windmilling the hands, bringing it down, coming back to the three-legged plank, shoot that left leg underneath the right leg for side plank, holding that bottom leg, bringing it back around to plank pose, lowering through chaturanga, up dog, and then we'll take a rest in child's pose. Bring the hips back. Back up, down dog is next. Step forward to the top of the mat, and then just come into a squat down. So we'll get into side crow with a different arm variation. And again, you can just kind of watch if you just want to sit this one out. If your arms are toast, then you can just see how I'm doing it. So before we were lining up the elbow to the hip. But this one, we're just gonna line up the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So we're over to the right side of the body here. Just going to line up that one. And this right elbow is going to be free, okay? So, but you do need to do this big reach over, like I'm doing. So basically you're trying to square your shoulders forward, just like your hips are, and then we'll be leaning to the right side. So you're trying to pick up the knees, and then you're just trying to set the outer knee on the shelf of that left elbow tricep there. So get it up nice and high, and then you lean forward from there, and then your legs can kind of be free from there.
So you can kind of lift a bottom leg, or you can do a twist with your bottom leg coming, or your top leg coming back, and then bringing it down. So a little bit more shoulder and balancy work, but some people may find that one easier to learn than the other one. And you can kind of do a little bit more with that one as well. So again, on that left side here, so we're going to try to reach over to the side first, and then we pick up the hips, and then we lean forward into that pose. So a lot of hand strength. That top leg can reach out, back, and then down. Okay, and then that's that. So we're gonna go, keep moving into a flow. Top of the mat, reaching up, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, jump or step back into plank pose. Lower third chaturanga. Bring it into up dog or cobra. And then come up into downward facing dog. More breaths here in down dog. All right, lift your right leg up. Step forward with your right foot. Drop your back heel to the ground, and we'll come up into warrior one position. So you go to warrior two position, and then come back into reverse warrior. We'll get into some legs here. Give our arms a break. Coming out to warrior two, and then straighten your front leg. Let's go to Trikonasana. Reach forward. Bring your right arm down. So you can hold onto the shin here. Trying to collapse kind of forward and kind of roll like this. If you can get right down to the floor and still maintain this open shoulder position, then definitely do that. But if you're trying to get down to your leg and then you're doing this, then that's not going to help you. So lift your arm up higher up your leg, even if it's at your knee, that's fine. You're not holding onto your knee. You're just using your leg as a guide, and you're just trying to extend up from the side of the body. So really getting some length on that left side, opening up that left shoulder. Using a block is also handy in this pose as well. Okay, we're going to come out and back to reverse Trikonasana. So leaning to that back leg, opening up, keep breathing, and then to an extended side angle. So we're going to bend into the knee and then bring it down. So you're either halfway down or you're going to go all the way down, bending into that front knee. And you can walk your back leg back and get a little bit more lunge out of the position, a little more hips. Binding or half binding, you can go for it. Rolling that top shoulder back. All right, and then releasing from here. So hands are going to be in the inside part of the right foot, and we're going to point those toes to the left side of the mat like we did before. Wide-legged standing forward fold. This time we're going to walk off the mat quite a ways, a foot or so, and go like you're going to go into downward facing dog. So stretch your arms in front of you and then drop your head so that your ears are in line with your arm bones. So this should feel like a really kind of supported down dog position. So little weight on the wrist and not so much energy intensive through the legs as well. So you're trying to just kind of spread out the weight. And it should feel pretty good on the back as well. Now we're going to turn this into a twist by bringing the hands together, thumb to thumb, and then we're going to take that left arm now and we're going to reach it over to the right leg, so underneath, and then you can just grab the top of the right knee there, top of the thigh. If you want a little bit more twist out of it, then you're reaching down lower. So reach that left hand more down to the calf shin or reach to your ankle. By then you should be kind of really pulling yourself underneath your right arm. Right arm is pretty strong here, so supporting you in this position, and the weight's coming back into your legs. And you should feel that twist in your shoulders and abdomen as well. Letting that go, and then switching sides. So your right arm is going to reach underneath, and you're going to reach to the left side now. So basically you're pulling your head through your armpit on that left side, pulling and pressing into the floor with your left hand. So really feel the strength of your left hand. Pull the hips back to create more space. One side will feel different, more mobile than the other, less mobile than the other. That's fine. Let that go, and then walk yourself back to the mat here. So you're in the wide-legged standing forward fold. Let's spin around to the top part of the mat and step back into plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Take it into up dog or cobra, and then bring it back to downward facing dog. Let's do the other leg. Lifting the left leg up, inhale, exhale, step forward into warrior one position. So reaching up with both arms, then we'll open it up to warrior two, reverse warrior, all right, warrior two, and then straighten the front leg, get ready for Trikonasana, stretch way forward, and then bring the left hand down to the left leg, reaching up with your right arm, breathing into that right side of the body. You can bring that right hand on your right hip. I'll just face this way to show you. So you can be like here in Trikonasana with your right hand on your right hip and just kind of press into your hip and pull the hip back. If it feels like your hip is rolling forward, then just adding a little bit of mindfulness by putting your hand there, creating that kind of mind-muscle connection might help you in this pose. Just to kind of feel that is where you need to work on, getting that hip flexor kind of stretched out is key for this pose as well. All right, so we're going to pick it up and take it back to reverse Trikonasana. Then we're going to take it into extended side angle. So bending into your front knee and then coming down. So either halfway or you are going down all the way and choosing your own adventure from there. So you can do your bind, you can do your half bind, or whatever's going to be the best for you. So you can walk yourself into a wider stance, like I just did, just kind of shifting a little bit just to get into the lunge a little bit deeper to enhance that hip stretch. Rolling, just keep working on rolling that right shoulder open, breathing into it. Okay, and we're going to release from there. So hands on the inside part of your left foot, and then pick it up, point the toes to the right side of your mat, and then fold forward for fold. Breathing into it. Going a little bit deeper into the hip stretch here. So we're going to kind of point the toes out and the heels in, and then we're going to walk the arms back, almost like we're going to go into crow position or firefly position, but we're not going to do the whole thing. We're just gonna stay there and enjoy the intense stretch. So the arms are gonna come back and your inner knees are gonna be resting on those elbows and your triceps. Okay, and then you're gonna sink through the hips, kind of like supported squat almost. So the more weight you drop into your hips, the more intense you'll feel it. And if you want less intensity, then you lean your weight forward or you lift your bum up even more. Okay, so just play around. Maybe you can hold, go into the pose really deeply and just let your bum drop for a while, and then you need to back out for a little bit and then readjust. That's fine as well. So again, just kind of working on that, kind of that frog position as the toes are slightly turned out. Working on those inner lines of the legs for that stretch there. Okay, and then we're going to lift out of that position, and then we're going to walk over to the top part of the mat. Stepping back into plank pose, lowering through chaturanga, take it into up dog or cobra, and then take it back into child's pose. Breathing into the back. Two more breaths here. Okay, lifting up, and then we'll take camel pose from here. So walking up onto the knees, onto the shins, and then reaching up with the arms. Taking the hands now back behind you, so the hands are supporting you on your low back. Reach down further if you feel pretty comfortable in back bends, bringing the hands down to your hamstrings or down to your heels. You can also tuck your toes under and then make your heels more available to you to shift forward. So squeezing your glutes to press your hips into extension, lift your shoulders, pull your shoulders back, lift chest up. Keep pressing your hips forward as best as you can here. Head can drop back if that feels okay. And then slowly start to come out of that position. Hands onto the floor, and then come up into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Alright, come forward to plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Just go all the way down so that you're on your belly. We're going to prop up onto the elbows from here, and then we're going to bend into the right knee. So we're going to catch the top of the foot with the right hand, and as best as you can, pointing the right elbow up towards the ceiling. And with just the pressure of my hand, I'm pushing the foot closer to my seat or the outer edge of the hip there. So you can use as much pressure or as little pressure as you need to as well. Stretching, stretch should feel like it's in your quadriceps and on the right leg there, top of the foot, and then releasing. Switching sides, you're propped up with your right elbow, bend into your left knee, catching the top of the foot, palm is facing the top of the foot so that you have enough strength to push down into the foot to press yourself into the stretch. Breathing into that stretch as well. Don't forget to breathe. Belly breaths. It's almost easier when you're on the belly on your belly too, to kind of be mindful of taking those deep breaths in and out. And then we're gonna let it go. All right, so back to tabletop position. Then bring your knees in, then bringing the forearms down, and then rock around, roll around. Go counterclockwise, then clockwise. Stretch out that back. Shifting the weight forward, shifting the weight back. All right, and then back up to the top here. So come on to the seat here, and then we will do a double pigeon pose tonight. So getting more into the hips. The right shin will be on the bottom. The left shin will be on the depth. You can prop yourself up on your bolster if you want. If this pose is way too uncomfortable for you to do, then just bring your left shin in front of your right shin in Sukhasana like we did at the beginning of class. So just with the hands down by your sides, bring your chin in towards your chest, so tucking in, and just think of a straight spine. Now come up onto the fingertips with your hands there. Even if you have a block underneath, you can do this. So kind of push down into the floor with your hands like you're trying to lift your bottom off of the ground. Keep that straight spine as you're concentrating on that. Keep breathing, pushing down with your hands, and then let the weight drop back into your hips, all that weight. So take that pressure out of your hands. So you should feel gravity back into your hips and that intensity increase. We're gonna reach up with the arms from here, and then we're gonna reach forward to the top corner of your ceiling and just keep reaching. Breathing into the back as you're reaching, lifting the chest. Try not to round your spine as you're doing this. All right, and then releasing the hands down to the floor. And here's where we'll stay here. So you can continue just leaning kind of slightly forward. If you would like to round your back at this point, then that's okay as well. You can reach your arms forward more in front of you, and you can also, if you have a pillow or bolster or even a chair in front of you, then that might also be helpful. Especially if it's a chair, then you can kind of stay upright, so you can play around with any of those props. If not today, then in the future, just see how it goes. Breathing intentionally into those hips. Breathing into the back, low back. Okay, take one last inhale and exhale here. Breathe really deep in and a deep breath out. Okay, and then we're gonna slowly release. So we're gonna keep your right leg where it is, and just take that left leg out to the left, and then just do a side stretch here. So left arm alongside the body, and then the right arm, you're either reaching alongside your ear, kind of reaching towards that foot, or you can just reach straight up towards the ceiling. You're gonna rotate the chest open as best as you can. And then releasing. So bring it in, and then we're going to switch it up. So the left shin will be on the bottom, and the right shin will be on top, or the right
shin will be just in front of the left one if you're in that Sukhasana position. So get comfortable, get readjusted, and then we'll do the same thing with the hands down by the hips. And I'm on my fingertips here, and I'm just pushing down. Start to push down into the mat really hard, like you're trying to lift your seat off the ground. So just allowing a little bit of gravity to release out of your hips here, allowing some space to happen before we set that gravity back in to the hips, and some breath. All right, so take that weight away from your hands here, take it back into your hips, feel your hips ground into the floor, and then lift the arms up to the ceiling. Okay, so we'll start by just leaning forward. You're reaching at the corner of the ceiling. You're not rounding the spine. You're just reaching and trying to lift in that tall position with a slight angle. All right, and then releasing the hands down, forward, and then just keep where you are, adjusting as you need to. Just like on the other side here, and maybe the side feels more tight or maybe more flexible than the other side. So just doing what you can, and try to be as consistent as you can with doing the same thing that you did on the other side, just to help build that symmetry. So that's what we're working towards, is symmetry on both sides of the body. Practicing, practicing, practicing. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Lots of deep breath in, breathing in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. All right, so again, taking just one more deep breath in and out here. Breathe out through the mouth. Slowly lifting out of that position. Keep your left leg where it is, and then just take your right leg out to the side. Toes pointing up, and then just begin reaching down the leg. So, and just enjoying that stretch here, stretching out the hamstrings. You can lift that arm up, you can reach over. You can just bring your hand just onto your knee as well. You don't have to lift your arm up. What you are doing is try to open up the chest as well, so you're getting a little bit of twist through the body. All right, and then releasing out of that position. Okay, just let's stretch both legs in front. Both arms reaching up, exhale, and just fold forward. Don't worry about not rounding your spine or rounding your spine. Just folding, do what feels good. Even if your knees are bent here, even if you don't touch your toes, just try and hold that forward fold. Slowly rising back up. Let's go onto the spine from here, rolling like a ball. Grabbing onto the backs of the knees or hands free. Rock back, inhale, exhale, roll forward onto the sit bones. You can do mini rocks like this. Okay, you can do those full rocks. Whatever's going to feel good. Try to keep that rounded spine, chin slightly tucked in towards the chest. This should feel like a massage through your spine. If it feels more like pain,
then just go right to happy baby pose, skip it. Okay, so back onto your back and happy baby pose. Head onto the floor, grabbing onto your knees. Knees are wide, the feet are wide. You can also grab onto your feet and or shins. So side to side here, and just breathing. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Alright, so from here we'll let that go and hold on to the right knee with the left, with both hands. So you're bending into the right knee and pulling that knee in towards the chest and belly. The left leg is going away, it's touching the floor, where the foot is on the floor, the knee's bent, depending on how your back feels in this, but give a good squeeze with that right knee, and then take the right knee across to your left. And then as close down to the floor as you can make it, you can apply a little bit of pressure with your left hand, a little bit of weight to help guide that knee down towards the floor. So stretch it, feel like it's coming from your low back and wrapping around quadricep, glute muscles, hip flexor, IT band, kind of all around that left side there. That should feel pretty good. If it feels like it's too much, then pull that bottom knee underneath and just do a more of a supported twist. You can also angle the knees down below your hips to make it less intense. Since this is a twist class, you can explore a pinwheel position. If you're up for that, I'll just angle myself this way. So what I'm doing is lifting up, grabbing onto the top of my right foot. I'm still holding on to my left knee here, and then I'm gonna drop my head back onto the floor. So I'm just holding the feet down to the floor as best as I can here, and pulling that right foot kind of to the right, pulling the right foot towards my left foot, my left foot towards my left butt cheek. So stretching the quadricep on the left leg as I'm stretching the antagonistic muscles on my right leg. So kind of doing a double duty. So spin out, come back to a hug position, pull in the knees, breathe into your back. And then other side, hold onto the left knee and let your right leg go away. Give a good squeeze with that left knee, breathe into it. From here, guiding the left knee over to the right side for that reclining twist position. One of my favorite twists of all time. So multifaceted and kind of targets the whole body. Your shoulders opening here, and that's opening the hips, it's stretching fascia and the connective tissue all across the sidelines of the body. If you want to do that pinwheel pose, bend into your right leg. Hold onto the right foot this time, and you're pulling that right foot in towards your right seat. Try to keep it on the floor as best as you can. Meanwhile, pulling that left shoulder down to the floor. how where you're looking as well, turning your head to the left, to the right. Alright, and then releasing from there. So releasing your foot, coming back around to the hug position. Breathing into the back here. And then letting that go. Windshield wipers are next. Bring the feet to the floor and the knees are wide and the feet are wide as well. Reach your arms out to a T and then let the knees drop left and right. Checking to see your range of motion here, maybe at first to see how far your inner knee and your outer knee reach down towards the floor, and just kind of testing there. Go right and then go left again, just to see if you're mostly the same on both sides of the body with the range of motion and how far your knees can get down to the floor. And then continue just kind of moving a little more lazily. So with mostly momentum, letting your legs kind of go loose a little bit, letting your feet relax as you're doing this, letting your arms feel really heavy, and basically the whole upper body, including your head. Shoulders relax. At your own time, there is winding all the way down to Shavasana. So finding some space on your mat, make sure that you are going to be as less distracted as possible. When you find your position, either lying down on your back, maybe seated, maybe propping yourself up with some supports if that feels good, or blanketing yourself if you feel chilly. When you're set there, palms turned open towards the ceiling in Shavasana, let your feet open to the sides, and take a deep breath in. Visualize the lungs filling, the belly expanding, everything expanding, the sides of the body, and then a long deep breath out through the mouth. It's like deflating a balloon, just slowly letting the air go, completely emptying the air before you take your next breath in. So mostly working on that. Do those complete exhales. So a big inhale as long as you can take it in, and then working on a long, slow exhale. Even just holding on to the bottom of the exhale, just to see, as an experiment. So do about 3 or 4 of those more exaggerated breaths, breathing out through the mouth, help relax the facial muscles even more. And then once you've completed those, then you're just moving into more of a relaxed breath pattern. So perhaps with a count of 6 in, 6 seconds in, and then count 8 seconds out. So start with that ratio. If that feels like it's too high, you can go 5 and 7. And if it feels like it's a little bit too low for you, then just keep increasing those ratios as your heart rate slows down, as your breath rate slows down. Then you can go up to 7 and 9, 8 and 10. Making sure those exhales though are about 2 seconds longer than your inhales. That's what you want to look for. Bring some sound to your breath to help you focus on it and just realize and focus on when you're, notice when your mind starts to travel elsewhere. So outside the room, outside of this practice, to future or past events, and then see if you can draw your attention back into the present moment, back right into your body, into your breath again, and keep working that muscle, the focus muscle. Meanwhile, letting your body just completely relax and let go. So enjoy feeling heavy in the heels, in your calves, the backs of knees, thighs. Letting both your right leg and left leg just go completely heavy, relaxed, and supported by the floor. Notice on your inhales, create space through your hips, through your back, low back. On your exhales, creating a settling effect through your mid-back, your upper back. Feel your shoulder blades pull down. Feel the backs of the arms supported by your floor, by your mat. Backs of hands resting. Being still. Soften through the sides of the neck to allow the head to just be heavy, supported as well. The whole back body together, resting, recharging, grounding. Feel light across the hairline, forehead. The eyelids to feel heavy. The muscles around the eyes to relax and soften. Relax the jaw muscles, the tongue and the mouth. Soften the throat, collarbones, chest, and abdomen. Bring back to the awareness of your breath. Your time, bringing the attention now back to your breath once again, back into this present moment, to the sensations that you feel in your body. Noticing the cool air you breathe in, noticing the warm air you breathe out. Noticing the air around you in general, moving around in fingers and toes, stretching them out, moving around in your ankles and wrists, circle around, and adding on motion here, like a to wave through the body, and as you breathe deeper, you're bringing more energy back into the body, literally breathing yourself alive back to movement. And just really slow and mindful movement, doing whatever just your body is craving right now. So whether it be a twist, maybe stretch overhead, morning stretch, maybe yawning, rocking your head from side to side. From there, you're rolling or rocking over onto your right. And then you can make your way up to seated from there. So namaste, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day, depending on when you watch this video. And thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. And be sure to check out other videos on this Facebook page, archived videos from this whole last year. Almost 1 year to date in March. It'll be, yeah, lots of home videos since the studio closed. But that's okay. Good for you guys. Yeah, I also have videos uploaded to YouTube channel if you're not on Facebook, so you can check out Melissa Shippey Live Elements channel and subscribe to that. And yeah, like this video if you liked it, and share it if you'd like to do even more. Thanks for watching. Join me on Wednesday for HIIT Core Yoga if you are still cold and you need to warm up and you need to break more of a sweat. Then you should definitely check out that class. It's for you. Okay, bye everyone.